Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. All right, happy Monday, everybody. I pray that you all are well. I pray that you have had a fantastic day. I pray that you have made the most of your day. I pray that you are well, that your families are well, that you are safe, that, excuse me, that you had a pleasant day, that you're sitting reflecting on how amazing your day was. And here's the thing, even if your day was not as amazing as you desired, I pray that you identify one thing that went well. Even if all went well, was you taking a walk from your house to the car. Even if all went well, was the fact that you were able to get up this morning and brush your teeth and wash your face. Even if all that went well is that you were able to turn the light switch on and the electricity came on in the room. Even if all it was that you were able to feel your feet were cold. Do you realize that there are people who do not have that benefit? Do you realize that there may be someone who doesn't even have a house to turn on a light switch? Do you realize that there's somebody who is in a more challenging situation than you are? For that alone, there's a reason to be grateful. Okay? So, regardless of how your day was, I pray that you find the joy in it all, regardless. Okay? So, welcome to the Dr. JaNee Mobley channel. I am Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women overcome mindsets that prevent profit, progress, and prosperity so that they'll have the boldness and the bravery to move forward in their purpose and transform the lives of others. Excuse me. As you all come in, tell me where you are tuning in from. Make sure that you share this live broadcast with about 2 or 3 people. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you subscribe to my channel. We're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you all, and let me ask you this question. I want you all to put a 1 in the comments if this is your first time ever joining me live, and put a 2 in the comments if you are a returner. So a 1 in the comments if this is your first time joining me live, and a 2 in the comments if you are a returner and this is not your first time. First of all, welcome to those of you all who are new to my channel, and also welcome back to those of you all who are seasoned. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you either way. We're going to go ahead and get started. Yesterday, I talked about 3 things that I wanted you all to consider, and I don't think I got to the third thing, but I wanted to focus on one of those things, right, as you move forward in your week. Because always remember, I don't care what is going on in your life. Hear me and hear me good. Remember that God created you for a purpose. Regardless of the bills you got to pay, regardless of the children that you have, your life was intentional. So you always want to make sure that you keep your purpose top of mind, regardless of what's going on. One of the things that I always keep in mind is that I understand that because God knew me before he formed me in the womb of my mother's belly, that he had an intention for my life. Good evening. He had an intention for my life. And my goal is to fulfill the very purpose and the intention that God created me for. I want you all, and I say this often, but I want you all to always remember this. Think of yourself. How many of you all are in some type of leadership position? Okay? If you are in a leadership position, just wave your hand. And I want you to think about, as a leader, you send one of your team members out on a mission or an assignment to accomplish a goal in an effort to ensure that the vision that you have for your team, for your business, for your company, for your corporation is fulfilled. You give them instruction, you give them access to resources, and you send them out. And here's the thing, you let them know that there are trainings available for them to continuously be equipped for the mission and the assignment and the goal that you send them on. Only for them to come back to you reporting that they did absolutely nothing because they were afraid. They allowed fear to get in the way, other people's opinion, the fear of being rejected, the fear of having to consistently do well, the fear of not thinking that they would be able to maintain the level of success that they start with. They come back saying that they have self-doubt, that they lack confidence, that they're not sure of themselves, that who are they to move forward in the goal and the mission that you sent them on? How would you feel as a leader? You be frustrated, you be aggravated, you feel some kind of way, right? You would be angry because the very thing, you know that this mission that or this goal you can't achieve all on your own. You can't do it by yourself. So this is why you decided to build a team of people, only for them to come back and have not done their part. So yeah, you got a right to be frustrated, aggravated, and upset. This is the same thing that I always think about when I think about the scripture that when God is having a conversation with Jeremiah, that when he tells him that before he formed him in the womb of his mother's belly, he knew him and he called him to be a prophet. And ultimately, Jeremiah accepted the responsibility. Even as a young boy, he accepted it. Even though he didn't feel qualified at the time, he accepted it. When you don't fulfill the very intention that God created you for, how would it feel to go to the very one who sent you here to tell him that you didn't accomplish the very thing he intended when he created you? That would be a horrible feeling. That's one of the things that I always think about when when I say I don't feel like it, when I have thoughts like I don't feel like doing what I need to do. This ain't about me. So I want you all to always keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and get started. And that wasn't even the content, right? So here's the thing. I posted a short yesterday about being self-critical. And I want you all to make sure that you drop what is it, a number 4 in the comments if you are very self-critical, like you are more critical of yourself than you are of others. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you all this week, and I'm almost done, is don't allow your failures, how did I put it? Don't allow the failures of last week, last year, last month, the last couple of years to be your downfall this week. Don't allow it. See, here's the thing. When you allow something, you give way to it. You succumb to it. But you have the power to decide whether you're going to allow your failures to be your downfall or whether you're going to use your failures as a stepping stone to stand on, to learn from. So this is one of the first things that I want you to think about when you think about your failures. Quit looking back. That's number 1. Quit looking back. Quit looking back at the errors that you made in your former business. Quit looking back at the errors and the mistakes that you made in your current business and in your purpose and in your life. Some of you all are allowing the mistakes that you made in your life to be your downfall. It's one of the very reasons why many people do not feel qualified for the call, or they don't feel qualified, or they don't feel like they're enough to move forward in the very gift that they possess and have. Quit looking back. Here's the thing. I want you to think about if you're ever running a race, right? The goal of a race is to look forward and look for the finish line. But how many of you know if you start a race and you get to, I wasn't a runner, wasn't a thing for me. I was not athletic at all. That wasn't my gift. Okay. But I understand that if I'm running a race or if I'm running from somebody, if I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. If I'm focused on my end goal, the quicker I run because my anticipation, my excitement for getting to the finish line increases, it heightens. But the moment I look behind me to see who's behind me, what's behind me, to see the failures, to see the mistakes that I made, it only slows and reduces my running pace. If you're daring to move forward in your purpose, the moment that you turn around to look back for an extended period of time, the moment you turn around, you reduce your running pace. You reduce your progression. So, number one, quit looking back. Quit looking back. If you're going to look back as a means to propel you forward by identifying, I got my notes here so I can stay on task, by identifying how you can course correct as you move forward by improving and applying what you did. Here's the thing, identifying what you did wrong. How can you prevent making those mistakes again and apply them as you move forward in your purpose? So let's just say I'll use someone that I know as an example. This particular person had a transportation business, right? They had a business and they were sitting there talking about for a very long, like often, about getting a second vehicle, right? Getting another vehicle for their business, getting another vehicle for this particular route. Well, lo and behold, they didn't they didn't move quick enough, got into an accident and totaled out the other vehicle without having resources to still move forward with the route that they had. So they lost the route. Here's the thing. Yeah, it was a challenging situation. Yeah, it was disappointing. But when they restarted their business, they made sure they had two vehicles. What did they do? They learned from that former mistake that I need to have a backup vehicle for my business so that if anything happens, I can keep going, I can keep moving. You want to look back only to use it as a means to propel yourself forward and course correct as you move forward in your business, in your purpose, whatever it is. Okay? Excuse me. Always remember that looking back only slows you down, as I shared before. So here's the thing. You want to use your mistakes and your the failures that you made. And here's the thing, the failures of other people to propel you forward. One thing about failing at something is that you've already been down that road. You're experienced at it. So you already know what the potential outcome could be. So one thing that you have is an upper hand because you've already been down that road. Now it's a matter of how do I make changes as I move forward? That's your goal. That's what you want to constantly ask yourself when you think about failures, even when somebody try to bring up the failures that you had. Think about, okay, yeah, I made that mistake, but how can I course correct? How can I make better decisions? Not sit here and go into depression mode. No, let's figure out how we can do better. Let me tell y'all this. I'm amazed. I think it was BP some years ago. Okay, and they made a movie off of this. BP, I believe BP was the company, some years ago had that major oil spill, oil debacle in the big old sea that cost them 8 figures plus. It cost people's lives, but yet and still, the brand has made a comeback. I'm not minimizing the lives that were lost, but somewhere along the way, I haven't done my research, but the fact that that brand is still evident, and they are building new locations, lets me know that they found a way to come back from a huge setback. Your mistakes and your failures probably didn't cost the lives of people. It probably didn't cost the lives of people. So what's holding you back? Ask yourself, how can I make better decisions now that will put me in a better position? When you think about, let's just put this in perspective of your business. Let's just say you made some mistakes. Let's just say a customer was very displeased with something that you did. Okay, go back retrospectively and identify, how can we improve the experience? This is what companies do. How can we improve the experience? How can we make this better? Yes, the customer was dissatisfied because of XYZ, but how can I make this better? How can I make this process better? How can I make them receiving their package quicker? How can I make it a greater and better experience for them? How can I make it very seamless for them? That's your goal. Your goal is not to come out the gate perfect. Your goal is to progress. One of the scriptures that I study tells us that above all things that he wished that we be prosperous and in good health. Prosperous, one of the definitions of prosperous in the Greek meaning in that scripture, means to progress. That's what it means. When you progress, your goal is not to be perfect. When you progress, that means that there's improvement. That means you're getting better. That means that I'm better this week than I was last week. That means that I'm better this year than I was last year. In whatever area that you are aiming to progress in. Okay? So number one, don't look back because it's going to slow you down. Number two, use your failures as faith propellers. Okay? And number three, I want you to realize this about failure. Some of the greatest, most successful people in the world have failed. And you all may have heard of him, I'm sure. Okay? But I looked this up because I've heard it before. The Michael Jordan stated that he missed more than 9,000 shots, lost nearly 300 games, and missed 26 times missed game winning shots. Now think about the game winning shots. That was an experience that could have won the game. But here's the thing. I'm sure what hurt the most was not that he let himself down, but you had a team of people who were looking at him to hit the winning shot. But did he allow that to make him quit? No. I'm sure there were times that he probably, well, not sure. He may have had times where he was just like feeling bad. But here's the thing. This is what separates successful people from unsuccessful people. People who are unsuccessful, they'll fail and then they won't get back up. They'll quit and try something else. But people who are successful are relentless at becoming better. They have a spirit of perseverance that is out of this world. They have a spirit of resilience that is built off of failures and other people's failures in an aim to become better. Don't allow your failures to be your downfall. Instead, learn from them and grow from them. Thank you all for joining me. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and also get your free access to the 5 mistakes that women make that prevent them from profiting from their purpose. Until next time, know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.